everyone, welcome back to the channel. Always appreciate anyone that stops by. Wasted Weapons and Special Tactics Education. Doing another video on, believe it or not, the Sig Pro. And I've said this before, Sig Pro is one of my favorite firearms. I do like it. I own two of them. I did own three. I ended up selling one. But I kept my two favorites. One of them being the old version 2009 that I had two-tone with a Cerakote. And the other one is the all-German one that has the three matching serial numbers on the frame, the slide, and the barrel. Well, a lot of people are doing videos, and they're doing performance videos, and they're comparing apples and oranges, the Glock against the Sig, the Beretta against the Sig, the XD against the Sig. You know, my attitude's kind of like it's comparing a Chevy to a Ford. It's preference. They're all going to do the job. The guns are really only as good as the shooter, in my opinion. Yes, there are some enhancements that make the gun perform better, but ultimately it's the shooter. But anyways, I got a request from Big Al 1214, and Big Al wanted me to get into the fire control unit, or the hammer box. Big Al, and I'm sure a lot of other people out there, like to polish the hammers and, you know, cut the hammer strut spring and try to lighten up the trigger. Well, you can do it with this gun, but I gotta be honest with you, I really don't recommend it, and I'll tell you why. The hammer box is a proprietary unit. All the internal parts you cannot buy separately, so if you make a mistake and you destroy something, guess what? You're not going to be able to get the parts. You have to buy the complete unit from Sig Sauer. So be careful. They offered it in double action, single action, double action only. The double action only was really sold towards law enforcement. And people asking why double action only. Double action reduces the chances of a negligent or accidental discharge above a double action, single action. So a lot of officers, they actually may do double action. Now, if you do get a Sig Pro that's double action only, you can swap out the hammer box, and I'm going to show you how. Alright, so basically, let's take the gun down here. Come on, baby. Pop it up. Slide that forward. Alright, so decock the hammer. Now, anyone that owns a Sig Pro already knows how to swap out the grips, okay? There is a shelf and a lip here. All you have to do is take your screwdriver, push it in, pull the slide off, and if you can see here, it's kind of, the lighting is really terrible, but I get also shitty camera equipment. This little tongue and groove here, it just locks into place in the mag well. All you're doing is you're depressing it and you're sliding the magazine out of the way. I'm sorry, sliding the grip out of the way. Alright, let's get down to the meat and potatoes of the subject. Okay, that is the hammer control unit, or the hammer box, or the fire control unit. Okay, this is really only held in by two pins. There's a pin here and there's a pin there, and that's it. These two pins, the unit comes out. Now, an armorer, skilled armorer, can swap this out in less than 5 minutes. So what we're going to do now is the pins have to be pushed out left to right. One of the main reasons is the decocking mechanism kind of blocks that pin from being able to be pushed out. So it's got to be pushed from the left to the right, and of course, oh, there we go. I thought I was going to take a hammer to it. Okay, there's the top pin, and there's the bottom pin. Now, you'll never get these two pins mixed up because they're two separate diameters, two different diameters. So the fat pin goes on top, small pin goes on the bottom. Okay, now, this is a bad time for me to have a brain fart, but I'm going to have one. This is a retention cap. There's another name for it, but right now I made up the word retention cap because I'm not quite sure what it's called. But that has to be removed in order to release the trigger bar. Okay? Now, you'll see here, and once again, my camera's pretty shitty, it's cut off, or it's notched, and there are two dimples that are part of the hammer box. And what you would have to do is, you'll see how my finger can depress it. So what you're going to do is, you're going to slightly depress it. You're going to pivot it outward. See how it's unlocking? Now, it's under spring tension. Be careful. And you slowly pull it out. Now that spring will actually sit into a recessed detent right here on that platform. So you can't make a mistake. So now, that allows you to take the trigger bar, push trigger bar down and out of the way, and all of a sudden, little force, and That's it. And it comes sliding right out. And that, my friend, is extremely dirty. I'm glad I took it out now. I can clean it up. But that is your hammer box. I like to call it a fire control unit because technically that's what it's referred to. Now, I make it a point never to put any type of oil on the hammer and the sear, any of the mechanisms in here. It doesn't need it. And why? Because it's a perfect example. It attracts all sorts of crap. All right. Now, I don't know if it's I over lubricated the slide. It's possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop now, clean that bad boy up, and then we'll show the reassembly. All right. Now that we got that bad boy nice and cleaned up, now, probably saying to yourself, well, Rich, you just said a couple minutes ago that you don't want to break this down because all the parts are proprietary. Well, little MC25 Milcom, you soak it down. Compressed gas or compressed air. Same stuff that you use to clean your keyboards with. It'll get all the dust particles out, all the dirt, all the grease, everything you want. Take a Q-tip, get inside there, but it really did a great job cleaning it up. And very happy with the outcome. All right, well, if that's the case, let's put this back together again. I'm just going to do a visual inspection. Well, let's clean up the trigger bar while I'm sitting here. Take a look inside. Doesn't look too bad. All right. So, it's pretty simple. There's only one way in and one way out. And if you notice, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there are tracks right inside the frame. On both sides, there are tracks. So, all you got to do is take the hammer control unit, the hammer box, fire control unit, and all you want to do is get that started, and then just slowly push it down. And what you also want to do is bring it down there, and then you're going to take that. If you notice, the trigger bar moves up and then goes into that position right there, and that just locks into place. Okay, you want to make sure that your holes are lined up. Holes are lined up. Get the pins back in. Then you just move it around until you get the hole right where you want it. Come on, baby. Get in there. Don't waste up a lot of time here. There we go. And this bottom one. Bottom one fits into place. Get those flush. Okay, now, if you are brave enough and you want to try to lighten up the trigger, you can depress the hammer strut system into a vise, pop that pin out, and you could pull the hammer strut spring out. You can work it, grind it down, cut it, but once again, it's not something that I'm recommending. Okay, so once again, as I was saying earlier, there is a shelf that spring will sit into. What you can do is just get the corner of it in there. It'll rest, and you'll blow the spring out like I just did. Let's get it back on board. Yeah, let's see, get it in there. Okay, then you're going to pull it down, and it's going to fit in there. Oh, the pressure. Get in there, you bastard. All right. Okay, if you notice on this side here, there'll be two detents, and you'll see it slotted. Get it in the detent, push down, locks into place. Do a function test. Nice. Okay, and might as well slide the grip back onto it. locks into place. Come on. That's it. The gun is back together again. So once again, this is for Big Al 1214. The hammer box or the fire control unit. It's entirely up to you. If you want to start messing around with that, knock yourself out. I'm not going to tell you not to. Not going to tell you to do it either. But I am going to let you know that that's all proprietary parts and accessories. So just be careful on what you're doing if you're going to pull it apart. All right. Once again, like the video. Thanks for subbing it, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.